What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be showing you how to install a front limit strap kit on a Pro R. But before we do that, let's take a look at this kit. You're going to notice this shock therapy kit has two sides to the clamp, which actually clamps to the body. There's also going to be an adjustable clevis and the strap itself. The nice part about this design is over time your limit strap will stretch. In order to get rid of that stretch, you have this adjustable clevis to where you can adjust out any of that slack, pretty much having a limit strap kit for life. You're also going to notice on the back side that there are these D-rings. This also helps out to be able to keep the slack from slapping around in the spring, making it a lot less noisy. Now that we've checked that out, let's go to Joey and watch him install it. First thing you're going to want to do is jack the car up. For safety reasons, now throw some jack stands under the front of the car. Now you're going to want to remove the lower and the upper bolt from the shock. In order to get the shock out, you're going to have to unbolt the sway bar link. Now remove the lower bolt from the shock, and it's time to remove the front tire. In order to have some extra slack, now you're going to want to remove the two 8mm bolts that are holding on the brake line bracket. Once the brake line bracket is removed, go ahead and remove the upper bolt that is holding the ball joint to the hub. Now that the upper A-arm ball joint bolt is out, you can go ahead and remove the ball joint from the hub. Now go ahead and remove your upper bolt from the shock, but remember, unplug the shock before you pull it out. Now that the shock is removed, let's go ahead and assemble the limit strap kit. Install the limit strap onto the clevis using red Loctite for the through bolt. Now that the limit strap is attached to the clevis, go ahead and grab the clamp and throw the clevis on there, leaving one nut and one lock washer on the bottom, and then putting the other lock washer and nut to the top. For the limit strap clevis adjustment, we typically like to see 3 threads on the top. Now that the limit strap clevis is on the clamp, let's go ahead and install it on the shock. Once you put it on the shock, you want to make sure the orientation is proper, going towards the back of the vehicle. We typically like to see a thumb's length away from the reservoir. Also, the clamp goes all the way to the top of the body cap. Now it's time to snug it down. When tightening down the clevis, you want to make sure that it is in line with the end loops. Now that we have the limit strap clamp installed on the shock, it's time to go back on the car. The new shock therapy limit strap is going to come with a new lower bolt and a spacer. Now that the lower shock bolt is installed, now put the spacer on the back side. Now that the shock is on, go ahead and reinstall the ball joint to the hub, also installing the two 8mm bolts for the brake line bracket. Now that we have everything installed, it's time to put the tire back on. Now that the tire is back on, go ahead and lower the vehicle down to allow yourself to be able to attach the limit strap. Now that the vehicle is back on the ground, go ahead and reinstall the sway bar link to the sway bar, and then turn the vehicle on to cycle it so that it drops down to be able to install the limit strap. Now that the limit strap kit is installed, go ahead and jack the vehicle back up so you can tighten down the upper and lower shock bolts. For all torque specs, refer to your service manual. Now that the upper and lower bolts are tight, go ahead and tighten down the sway bar link bolt. Now that this install is complete, go ahead and repeat the same steps on the opposite side of the vehicle. Now that everything is tightened down, you can install the Velcro that goes around the D-rings on the limit strap, attaching them to the lower spring. Now that the install is complete, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please call us at 623-217-4959, or if you'd like to purchase this product, visit the website www.shocktherapy.com.